Good morning. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. All is yours. Do not go seeking for that which you are. Appropriate it, claim it, assume it. Everything depends upon your concept of yourself. That which you do not claim as true of yourself cannot be realized by you. This is from Chapter 9, Preparing Your Place in Neville Goddard's The Power of Awareness. He says, the promise is, whosoever hath, to him it shall be given, and he shall have more abundance. But whosoever hath not, from him shall be taken away even that which he seemeth to have. Hold fast in your imagination to all that is lovely and of good report, for the lovely and the good are essential in your life if it is to be worthwhile. Assume it. You do this by imagining that you already are what you want to be and already have what you want to have. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Be still and know that you are that which you desire to be, and you will never have to search for it. Neville Goddard says, in spite of your appearance of freedom of action, you obey, as everything else does, the law of assumption. Whatever you may think of the question of free will, the truth is your experiences throughout your life are determined by your assumptions, whether conscious or unconscious. An assumption builds a bridge of incidents that lead inevitably to the fulfillment of itself. Mankind believes the future to be the natural development of the past, but the law of assumption clearly shows that this is not the case. Your assumption places you psychologically where you are not physically. Then your senses pull you back from where you were psychologically to where you are physically. It is these psychological forward motions that produce your physical forward motions in time. Precognition permeates all the scriptures of the world. In John 14:2-3:29, in my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there ye may be also. And now I have told you before it came to pass, that when it is come to pass, ye might believe. Neville Goddard explains the I in this quotation is your imagination, which goes into the future, into one of the many mansions. Mansion is the state desired. Telling of an event before it occurs physically is simply feeling yourself into the state desired until it has the tone of reality. He suggests that you go and prepare a place for yourself by imagining yourself into the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Then you speed from this state of the wish fulfilled, where you have not yet been physically, back to where you were physically a moment ago. Then, with an irresistible forward movement, you move forward across a series of events to the physical realization of your wish that where you have been in imagination, there you will be in the flesh also. When you make a decision that you're going to do something, that you're going to go somewhere, that you're going to have something, if you assume that you have a wonderful business, you'll notice how in your imagination your attention is focused on incident after incident relating to that assumption. What we call creativeness is only becoming aware of what already is. You simply become aware of increasing portions of that which already exists. So when you go within and connect to your inner being, by your concept of yourself, you determine your present and you take that into the future. When you believe that everything is possible that you imagine, it becomes your physical experience. Now, so many people use their imagination against themselves. They worry about what if this happened? What if that happened? What if the worst happens? What if the best happens? What would that look like to you? You have been gifted with an imagination. Now, when you were a little kid, you might have been punished for using your imagination. You might have been told to put away the fantasy and get to work. Quit daydreaming and pay attention in school. Learn this material, and then you can pass a test and have good grades, and then you can get a good job. Well, if you put away your imagination, then all you're working with is what people tell you, the physical realm that already is present. But what if you believed that things can get better? And when you look around you, you can see how life changes. I know a lot of people who say they hate change, they don't want things to change, but that is the only constant, that everything changes. Everything is energy and it transmutes into physical matter. It transmutes into form and then disappears out of form. My mentor, Bob Proctor, would say that everything vibrates, nothing rests. Even a dead body is still vibrating. Otherwise, how would it turn to dust? Everything is temporary. As much as you want something to last, to be permanent, the universe just continues moving into form and out of form. Buildings are built and then they disintegrate. The land is plowed and crops are planted. They grow and they're harvested. And then the chaff is blown away and new crops can be planted. Whatever you want, think about it. Believe that it's possible. Imagine it. And then do something that will take you there. Create a book, create a painting, create a plan. Create what you want in your imagination. And then as you sit quietly and think about what that would be like to be there in physical reality, how would that make you feel? Why do it doesn't even matter why you want what you want. Sometimes the heart wants something so deeply, so profoundly, You can feel it in every cell of your being. You can imagine it. You can visualize it. You can daydream about it, and it feels so wonderful. Imagine yourself there. There is a place. If you're at work and you're worried about what's going on at home, is my house safe? Are my children safe? What's going to happen when I get home? You can imagine all kinds of things. And when you're at home, you could be imagining what's going on at work. Is your job secure? Are you going to get that promotion? You can take your mind anywhere. When you're calm and relaxed, you can enjoy being on a beach in Hawaii, being in your favorite chair at home, being in your lover's arms. You can imagine all sorts of things. Allow your imagination to bring in beautiful pictures, what you desire, not what you're afraid of. Fear and faith are both invisible energies, and one can take you to heaven and the other can take you in the opposite direction. Why not imagine the best scene that you can possibly picture in your mind? Your imagination will take you to beautiful worlds. And then as you practice being there in your mind, ideas will come to you. Neville Goddard says, "The whole of creation exists in you, and it is your destiny to become increasingly aware of its infinite wonders and to experience ever greater and grander portions of it." The fact that you've never been anything that you are not already or experience anything not already existing explains the experience of having an acute feeling of having heard before what is being said, or having met before the person being met for the first time, or having seen before a place or a thing being seen for the first time. You might call that déjà vu, but if you practice in your imagination something that you truly desire, you rehearse in your mind being congratulated, being held tenderly, being richly blessed in finances, where you're enjoying whatever experience or luxury you desire. You can imagine and pretend and rehearse, and this changes your concept of the world, of yourself. Concepts determine the route that attention follows. Neville Goddard says, "Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled and observe the route that your attention follows. You will observe that as long as you remain faithful to your assumption, so long will your attention be confronted with images clearly related to that assumption. If you assume you have a wonderful business, you will notice how in your imagination your attention is focused on incident after incident relating to that assumption. Friends congratulate you, tell you how lucky you are. Others are envious and critical. From there, your attention goes to larger offices, bigger bank balances, and many other similarly related events. Persist in this assumption and it will result in actually experiencing, in fact, that which you assumed. The same is true regarding any concept. See yourself as successful. See yourself as loving, kind, generous. You'll encounter in your imagination a whole series of incidents that conform to that concept. Your concept of yourself determines your present. That is the particular portion of creation which you now experience, and in your future, that is the particular portion of creation which you will experience. Neville Goddard says it in his chapter on creation. Bob Proctor says it throughout all of his material. In the program that I teach, Thinking into Results, one of the most important things that you can learn is to leave everyone with the impression of increase. Givers gain. The more that you give, the more you receive. In the program that I teach, riches in the context of this program refers to giving and receiving of abundance in all areas of your life. Look for what's good around you. Look for what's good in what other people do well. Leave everyone that you meet with the impression of increase. Energy always returns to its source of origination. Give and you shall receive. What you send out returns to you. If you can incorporate this into your thinking, into your everyday way of life with every person you come in contact with, you're going to live a richer life. When you're out shopping for Christmas presents at this time of year, you can just smile, be gracious, be generous, hold the door open for someone, pay for someone's coffee, help a person with their parcels. Be patient. Let the person in front of you in traffic, let them get cut in line. When you leave someone with the impression of increase, that positive energy must flow to and through you first. When you see the best in other people, in your company, in other situations and circumstances, you are going to be in a phenomenal vibration. You're going to feel good all the time. The compensation for developing the impression of increase in your character is phenomenal. It goes beyond the scope of your imagination. In the program, Thinking into Results, that was written by Sandy Gallagher and taught by Bob Proctor, they said, you don't get rich by doing certain things. You get rich by doing things in a certain way. The certain way is by law. The law of cause and effect. What you put out returns to you. Now, the universe is totally deductive. It does not differentiate between good and bad. It only receives and reacts. The law says action, reaction are equal and opposite. The universe just sends like energy back to us. That's why it becomes vitally important for us to be continually working at improving our attitude, improving our mind, improving our thoughts, our feelings, our actions, improving every area of your life. When you form the habit of leaving everyone with the impression of increase, sending good energy to everyone you meet, whether you know them or not, and regardless of what their behavior may be toward you, you are going to be abundantly rewarded. It may be difficult to see how you're going to benefit from helping a person that you don't know, and you may never run into them again. Nevertheless, your reward will come back to you from the infinite universe. When you turn this type of behavior into a habit and it becomes part of your paradigm, part of your automatic action, every aspect of your life is going to improve. Your good may not come back from the person that you help or directly from your family, your coworkers, or whoever you're helping or being kind to, but the reward will come back to you from the expression of a universal power, and it is the universe that's going to reward you. It's universal laws that we're working with. Bob Proctor would say most people receive their good through the keyhole. Open the doors, open the windows, and expect good to come to you from all places. Most people struggle and strive and force and push and try harder and harder, and the harder they try, the more worn out they get. To live a rich and abundant life, you must bring your mind into harmony with the laws that govern your being. Your work, how you spend your days, it doesn't matter whether you're a professional or a laborer. See your work as a service that you are rendering, and it must be done in a certain way. That certain way is by law. Bring your mind into harmony with the laws of the universe. I like to write the word love in capital letters, LOVE, law of vibrational energy. The law says what you put out comes back. Give your best. It doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. You want to make certain that you are one of the most effective human beings you could ever be. Do things in a certain way. The certain way is by law. What you think controls your emotions, and your emotions control the vibration that your body is in. Your vibration controls your action, and your action controls the reaction of the universe that you are part of. It is when the action and reaction meet that your results are manifested. It's you and the universe working together. When you are in harmony with the universe, your results will be positive. When you are not, the results will be less than you desire. Be in control of what you think. Do not permit people, conditions, or circumstances to control your thinking. Of course, you want to be aware of what's happening around you. However, be in control of what is happening within you. Don't allow people around you to control what you think. Think great thoughts about your family, Think great thoughts about your job. Think great thoughts about your company. Make up your mind, regardless of what you did in the past, you're going to do something phenomenal in the future. When you wake up in the morning, today I'm going to do it better than I've ever done before. Do your work in a certain way, in a calm, confident manner. Every task that you're confronted with, rather than complaining and grudgingly forcing your way through, remind yourself there is a universal flow of energy. The universe always shows you what you're thinking and doing and feeling. The universe mirrors back to you how you're acting, what you're thinking deep in your heart. Imagine that you live in a respectful world. Embody the spirit of abundance, generosity, gratitude, love, and your work will flow effortlessly. You'll wonder why you thought it was so hard and complained about it so much. You might even try telling yourself a lie. This is simple. This is easy. This is fun. This is simple. This is easy. This is fun. And allow it to be. The concept that you have of yourself and your world is reflected back to you. What you put out, you receive. Fill yourself with the beautiful energy of how you want to be. What state of being are you going into your day with? Say to yourself, I am loved. I live an abundant life. Life loves me. I love life and life loves me. Say this over and over and over and program your subconscious mind, and you'll start to notice you do feel good. Life is pretty awesome. What you create in your mind becomes your experience, becomes your reality, forms your day. Think, feel, and act the way you truly wish to be, and you'll start to notice that that is what you experience. You might take some time to write down what you desire. Carry that piece of paper with you. Remind yourself periodically through the day what you think you become. Energy out, energy in. Fill yourself with beautiful, loving energy. Let that flow from you all day long. And notice how things become simpler, easier, flowing. Practice this every day, and it becomes the way you live your life. Create a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. Embody the spirit of the person you desire to be, and watch how your world changes. And I'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 7. Thank you.